Canada Now. We're here to look after your finances, your everyday life, and all the matters in there. Today, we're looking at people who are in their 50s and the finances for people who are in their 50s. In our previous 3 episodes, we looked at finances for people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. So we're at the 50s now. Hey, Paul?
Yeah, just continue what you've been doing.
Yeah.
Right?
So when you get to the 50s and over, there's some light at the end of the tunnel. And it's not a train coming at you. It's some light coming at you.
It can be, if you planned properly.
If you had planned in your 20s, 30s, and 40s, you probably can retire at 60.
Yes.
Latest, maybe 65.
Yeah.
Comfortably.
But it's never too late, right? When you're, if you're beginning your 50s, you want to, if you haven't started yet, it's a good time to start. It's never too late. You may have to start saving some more, right? So, because if you don't want to retire till you're 70, then you still got like 20 years to continue to invest. So, it's never too late, but you got to start. And I know the 50s, there's, your parents are getting older. Your kids are probably in university, so high expenses, right? So,
yeah, you're becoming like a sandwich, what they call a sandwich generation, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and then, and some people I know they have retired in their 50s, and
if they've managed their finances right.
Yeah, if they manage their finances right, and they continue to work on doing other things, but 50s is you're probably established a bit more, right?
Yeah,
so you've been, your career's gone off a little bit. It's
you're comfortable in your career.
Yeah.
You've got your kids are, depending on when you had your kids, they could be in university now. Yeah. Could be, or getting close to it.
Or getting close, yeah.
And, so hopefully you've been saving money for the kids, for their university and college.
Yeah, because university is expensive.
It is. If you don't save, it's kind of hard to just come up with the money. Then the kids end up getting all kinds of loans and their debts afterwards. I mean,
Yeah, hopefully at this time you're managing your debts through your 50s. Some people have paid off their mortgage, which is great. Some still have a mortgage in their 50s, which is fine. As long as there's no other major debts in there.
Yeah.
Like you want to make sure you're on top of that. And again, it comes down to budgeting. Continue to budget. It just becomes part of a tool throughout your life.
So let's start with this, because retirement is going to be the two big things. You're going to be mortgage, maybe getting close to getting paid off, maybe, and retirement coming. So, some people are still not, they don't know exactly, even at this age, what an RSP is. So let's just quick.
So it's just a tax sheltered device that you can. That's what you're saving for retirement. Because if you don't have a pension, then this is something you would utilize because your taxes are deferred. So if you put in, say, $5,000, then all that $5,000 comes off your income for that year, and you get a tax deduction.
Right.
When you start paying taxes on that is when you convert it later in life, and you're starting to draw down on money. But hopefully then your taxes are a little bit lower, so you're going to pay a little bit less in retirement. So RSPs, yes, strong to use. If you already have a pension and you want to just put a little in RSPs, I would probably suggest a bit more in the TFSA, start maxing that out and use that as a retirement tool. But again, it's just all about saving. You want to make sure you keep saving through your 50s and have that retirement. You may not even know when you're going to retire in your 50s yet. You might want to retire at 60, 65, 70. Some people never want to retire, but try to have that plan at this stage in life, right?
So RSPs means I can put money in there. I'll save taxes because it will remove that much from my income for that year, for this year, whatever year.
Yeah.
So you put money in it, you save taxes, and then you save that money for your retirement.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can put RSPs. Once you put money in there, you can go through your bank and go through a financial planner for this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can put money in it using ETFs. For somebody who doesn't know.
Yeah. So the RSP is just an umbrella, so you can put like mutual funds. Any type of investment that you. Yeah. And again, there's so much out there, so it's good to meet with some professional to figure out, okay, what do we want to put it under, right? So. The RSP, TFSA, FHSA, all these accounts are just umbrellas. You can put whatever you want under these umbrellas.
So it's really important because your retirement is coming up, and you really got to think about this to meet up with your financial planner, whether it's your bank or or you have your own financial planner, and sit down with them and say, hey, is this the amount I should keep putting in? Should I increase? Should I decrease? And they will go over your entire portfolio.
And that's it's part of the plan. Like if you've been saving since your 20s, then you should be like, it's just the compounding like we talked about before. You're compounding right through. Like if you've been investing since your 20s, then you're compounding for the last 30 years, right? So it's very crucial to start early. If you start later, you may have to start saving more, but you want to find out the plan is to what you want to do at your retirement, and how much you want to try to save for, because that's you just don't want to save $100, but then down the road you need to be saving $200 a month or something.
Yeah.
So you want to plan what that's going to look like.
Now the other thing, I hope all of you have been, you're in your 50s. You have short-term, mid-term savings.
Long-term.
Long-term, of course, is the RSP, any other vehicles. So if you haven't, and you come up in an emergency that you need a big chunk of funds, do your best not to go into your RRSP. Why, Paul?
Well, if you're still working, you're going to draw down off the RSP. It's going to count as income on your taxes, so you're going to start paying more tax.
You're going to pay a whole lot more tax.
Yeah, and we'll dive into another episode of like what an RSP is, what you can use. There's home buyers plan, all that kind of stuff within the RSP, so we can talk about that.
Yeah.
But if you're taking money out of the RSP, you don't want to use it as an emergency fund.
Right. That's the important thing, because that's happened with people where all of a sudden they come up and they have no savings and they have some RSP savings. They come up in an emergency, they go running to the bank and withdraw the money. Just withdrawing that money, how much do you lose right away? Is it 25% or something like that?
Well, depending on because it's called withholding tax.
Withholding tax.
5%, 10%, like it'll go up depending on how much you're pulling out.
Right.
And then you're assessed at tax time. You may owe more.
Right. So you lose money as soon as you pull it out, and then it gets added to your income as well. It gets added to your income, and you pay more taxes. So it's a really nasty hit you take. So if you don't have emergency funds and you need money, better to ask, maybe your parents or siblings or anybody who can help you.
Well, hopefully you've been, having an emergency fund from when you're younger. Always maintain that emergency fund.
The
hopefully that's what you're dipping into. Yeah.
The RSPs should be the last thing that you should be pulling money out for emergencies.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So keep up with your retirement savings. Investment strategy. Should we worry about that, or is that all?
Well, it's part of the plan, the investment strategy. What you're going to invest in, and
what kind of stocks and bonds.
Well, and that's
mutual
even.
funds.
Do I want more in RSPs? Do I want TFSAs? Do I want depending? That's so more an investment strategy. So, just keep investing. This is when the planning comes in. So you want to meet, sit with your financial advisor, someone that can oversee everything, and this is your go-to person. So,
this is why it's critical to have a financial planner, whether it's at the bank or your own financial planner, because they can advise you of all these different vehicles, such as a TFSA.
Well, this is someone to go to if you have a question, right? They're always there, like.
A couple of times
you're meeting them
a year.
on a regular basis.
That's right. Yeah. It's like, as I had said in a previous episode, it's like going to your doctor a couple of times a year. Go to your financial planner a couple of times a year and go over everything and make sure everything is healthy, right? So reduce your debt management. Because it's coming close to your retirement, and you don't want to be carrying credit card debts.
Yeah, so hopefully,
loans.
I know it's expensive time too. If you have kids going to university, you've been in your house for a while. Maybe you want to do some renos. After you've been in your house for 20 years, you want to do some renos. So you can accumulate debts. You hopefully do it a little bit wisely. So you don't want to just let's spend it all, and then you got to figure out then. So you want to plan. So that's all the stuff you want to plan for. You're in your house, you want to plan for some renovations and save and plan for that. You know, some people take out a loan, but you don't want to carry anything too much into your retirement, right?
Exactly. That's a big thing.
That's gonna hinder your funds coming in because
Yeah.
you're gonna have to owe that, right?
You may, and if you take some kind of a big loan, hey, listen, you know, if you're planning to retire at 60 and say, hey, I was really looking forward to retiring at 60, now you may have to work till 65.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
all part of the
your
planning,
goals.
right?
It's
Yeah.
what your goals are. It's
Yeah,
part
yeah.
of your planning, and that's where it comes in to sit down with a financial planner and they look at your goals. What are your, you know, what are your debts right now? And if you got such debts that they can't be handled, they can help you consolidate those debts
Yeah.
into one single payment.
Yeah, and planning's not just once. You don't plan in your 20s and that's it.
Yeah,
You're,
yeah.
You should go over it yearly, really.
Exactly, absolutely. At least
just-
yearly, if not twice a year.
Yeah. However,
It doesn't cost
I have
you
a
anything.
budget. I go
Yeah.
over monthly for the budget, but you know, planning and saying, you know, oh, we're going to do this or this. You just want to plan it. The whole thing is planning. So you want to make sure you're good at the end, right?
With your husband and wife, sit down and say, hey, these are our expenses. This is the money that's going out. This is the money that's coming in. This is when we're planning to retire. How much have we saved? And again, sit down with your financial planner with all those figures, and you know, you're looking at success. If you fail to plan, then you know, then you plan to fail. So please make sure you sit down, because most people, Paul, are not really well versed into this, you know, the whole financial planning thing, unless you have a degree in it or, you know, you've read up a lot. Most people are not. And so it's really important.
But they sometimes think it's far away, right? So
and before you know, it's added.
Yeah, it's
both you and I can say,
especially
attest to
the
that.
younger people. It's hard to get them to think about retirement, right?
Yeah.
Like they're just getting started, right?
Yeah.
So it is hard, and even in your 50s, like, well, I'm not close to retirement yet, but you still got to plan for it, think about it. So
Yeah, absolutely.
and just
So watch your debt, what kind of debt you're taking on. Discuss it with your spouse. If you are going to take some debt on, you can handle it, you can manage it and pay it off on time, kind of thing. Healthcare and insurance. You know, we're getting older in 50s. We're lucky in Ontario. I mean, Canada, we have OHIP. We look after most things. But still, things can pop up where, you know, something may cost you.
Yeah, you could look into like a health benefits plan if you want. You can get those. Sometimes your work offers that. That's just for the maintenance stuff of things, right? If you need a drug plan, dental plan, all that stuff.
Most workplaces offer that.
Yeah. And then insurance, again, that's just the top up. Hopefully you have insurance, because this is where, you know, we've had friends pass away in their 50s, right? So
we've had close friends pass away.
Yeah,
and,
so
you just don't know what's coming tomorrow.
Right. So you just want to make sure, again, that's just aligning with your insurance too, to say, hey, do we need to top it up? Are we good? Do I have any? Because you can still get insurance in your 50s. So
Absolutely.
And again, you just want to make sure that you're planning for that. So for what I have is I have insurance, and then I keep everything in a box. So I have it holds the will, holds my insurance policy. It's got and I have a sheet that has all passwords and stuff, and 3 people to call.
Nice,
so who to call. So
yeah.
once if something was to happen to me, then my wife can go there, and my kids know where it is. So it's there, ready to go. It's all planned out. So you just want to make sure you have that plan, right? That's part of the estate planning and all that stuff.
Yeah,
right?
because you don't
wills and
you don't want to. If something happens to you, and we've seen again, we've seen people in 50, our close friends in 50s pass away. It's really sad, but it can happen.
Yeah.
It can happen suddenly. And if you don't have things planned out, then people you're leaving behind, they really are going to go through some stress trying to figure out what's going, where's the money.
Well, that insurance just helps.
The insurance really helps.
Well, it just helps that, if life is on pause for a bit, you have some money that comes in. At least you're not going into debt or
exactly.
So it helps with that.
So go again. A financial planner will go over that as well. What your insurance needs are, life insurance, etc. We all have to have car insurance, home insurance, life insurance, etc., etc., etc. So, but you need to still sit down with a financial planner and say, "This is how much life insurance I have. Do I need more?"
Right. Yeah, and that's all part of the plan. Do I need,
And of course, Paul, we spoke about it once. You have to have a will. You should have a will.
Yeah.
Estate planning is going to come up.
It's just the roadmap. It tells you what you want done with everything,
Yeah.
right? So it's so much easier, and then assist with probate and all that stuff. So, I mean, we'll discuss detailed wills later, but it's just have one.
You have to have
I just
one.
updated ours 2 years ago, so I've had one since I've been married because of the kids.
No.
So also something to look at, right? Because things change, and different assets and stuff. You want to make sure everything's protected, and if you leave your wife, she's got something to reference, right?
A will can almost be looked on as like a roadmap, like pointing out this.
This is where you want things.
This is yeah. So there's no issues afterwards.
No. It's just it lays it all out for you, right? So
now, in a family like husband and wife, should they each have their own will?
Yeah, you can combine the will. So it's got, if I pass away, then my wife becomes the executor, and vice versa. So you just set it up that way. So
right.
And a lot of the finance stuff that you could set up as beneficiaries or successors, that it just automatically transfers to the wife anyway.
Right.
Like the house, everything. So that sort of thing. It's when it gets down to your kids or grandkids, a will just kind of lets you know to say, hey, I want to leave this, and you can tell who, right? So
leave it to the cat. And the dog.
Cat and the dog, yeah. So yeah, just making sure, again,
I've seen that in movies,
planning, right?
I've seen that in the movies.
Oh, yeah.
The dog gets everything, and everybody else is just standing around getting angry. So again, don't upset your parents. Ever.
Yeah, I don't want to take you out of the will.
Yes, exactly. What else are we looking at? Emergency funds?
Just in general, just make sure you're always assessing your current situation.
Right.
Your debts, your income, everything. It's all a plan because it's you. You're in control of everything, so you have to do it. Like, nobody's going to do it for you, right? So just assess your current situation all the time.
Yeah.
Create the plan.
Again,
and then
when you're in your 50s, when we're talking 50s, you could be 55, or you could be 51, or you could be 58, 59. If you're up there in the 58, 59, 57, and you're getting close to your retirement, review your budgets, cut unnecessary expenses, prepare for a possible transition to a fixed income.
Yeah, and just my main thing is, I've always said, is stay consistent. You can fall off the wagon, I guess, every so often, but get back on it.
Yeah,
and just stay consistent with all your planning and budgeting, and it'll be fine. Remember, it's never too late to improve your financial situation. So just
whether you're alone I mean single, or whether you're in a full family, if you're single, sit down again by yourself and with your financial planner and go over everything. If you're in a family, go over it with your spouse. Say, and it reduces stress in your life. Especially at this point, you don't need more stress in your life, right? So, look at, and the other thing, Paul, sometimes we don't talk about it because we've seen friends in our 50s, pass away, just like that. You got to look after your health.
Yeah.
You gotta, 50s, 40s, maybe you can get away with kind of partying away kind of thing, those nights you come in and you're like passed out.
Yeah.
But 50s, you gotta look after your health. Sit down with your doctor and go over your health and say, how am I doing?
It's just everything's just maintaining, right?
Yeah.
Maintaining and.
If you never work out, maybe your doctor can start you go join a. You don't even have to join a club. Every day go for a half an hour walk.
No, you can do stuff that's just body weight exercise.
Yeah,
walking,
every day go for a 45-minute walk.
Yeah,
man. Every day without fail, and that
because that's
will
part
have
of your
huge
planning
benefits.
too, right? Because you want to retire, you want to make it to retirement.
That's it, and then enjoy your retirement afterwards,
right?
Yeah.
You don't want to retire and then you can't do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And look at your goals in retirement will be. Are you going to travel a lot? Are you going to be the kind of person who just stays home a lot? If you're traveling a lot, maybe you need to save a little bit more. Every year you might want to take 2 holidays.
That all depends on your retirement goals, right? If you know you're just you want to stay home a lot with your grandchildren and just babysit them and that kind of stuff, or take them for day trips. Well, you're not going to need as much as maybe you want to take a trip every month or every 2 months. You're going to need a bit more. So again, that's part of the planning.
Yep. You got a plan. So you made it in your 50s, and you're over that hump now. That's half a century. Half a century.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a pretty good accomplishment.
Again, leading into your 60s, so which will be our
next
episode.
So
Okay.
if you've been planning, if you've been following a plan for your financial planning, then you are well on your way and getting close to retirement. There is light at the end of the tunnel that you can see now. Keep things steady and keep control of all your finances. Please remember to always have a financial planner that you can sit down twice a year and go over all your numbers. It will save you stress down the road, and that's really important at this point in your life. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and
see you next time.
And yes, and don't forget to leave comments. If you have any questions at all, please leave comments. Please like, please subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, and that's really important to us. Please, thank you very much. See you next time.